Hello bakers and music lovers, and welcome back to another Beats and Bake special on my channel. Now the 26th of April was a very big day for Swifties, and that's because over the last 13 days Taylor Swift has been teasing something new. Well, it is finally here. The single and music video For Me have just landed, so if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go and check it out. The music video is directed by Dave Meyers and Taylor Swift herself and is filled with loads of Easter eggs to get us excited for the brand new Taylor Swift era. Speaking of which, our last Taylor Swift cake from Reputation has just hit 5,500 views, which is incredible. I didn't think it would do so well, so thank you very much to everyone who has liked and shared that video. But we are now in a brand new Taylor Swift era, which means we need a brand new cake. And here's where the inspiration came from. Like a rainbow with all of the colours, we're making a marble sponge to bring out all of the great pastel colours in the music video. I love the Parisian houses along the street, so we're going to recreate the silhouette of those around our cake. The video starts down a colourful cobbled street with our iconic Taylor Swift snake, so we're going to recreate that on top of our cake. And we're going to finish it off with me, in the style of the cover art from the single. I absolutely loved how this cake turned out, so if you like it too, make sure you like this video and give it a share so we can spread all the cakey goodness across the Taylor Swift nation. While you're at it, also subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so you get an alert when I release new pop culture recipes. To begin, we're going to make our marbled sponge by creaming together our butter and sugar. In a separate bowl, crack and whisk your eggs until they're nice and smooth, and then slowly add them into your butter and sugar. Next, we're going to go in with our flour, some mixed spice and vanilla extract, and then keep on beating until it's nice and smooth. Next, we're going to dye some of the mixture into our light pastel colours of pink, blue and green, just using food colouring, mixing it well until it is nice and combined. I'm using a square tin for this recipe, so you want to grease and line your pan and then drop in tablespoons of your different colour cake batters before marbling it through. You can do this as much or as little as you like. Bake your sponges in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. You can check they're cooked if a skewer comes out clean, and then take them out the oven to let them cool. Now, as I mentioned, the video is filled with Easter eggs, and I really hope the heart scene is one of them and that we might get a 70s kind of disco vibe coming up on the album. Regardless, I love the scene, so I've decided to turn this cake into a heart shape. Level off your sponges and then using a stencil, cut your cakes into heart shapes. Repeat this for all 3 of your layers. We're going to sandwich the cakes with a bright blue buttercream inspired by the cover art of the single. To make your buttercream, you want to whisk together your butter, icing sugar, milk and vanilla extract. Separate some of your mixture and then use food colouring to dye it your pastel blue. You'll then want to spread an even layer of your blue buttercream over your first sponge, even it out and then place the next layer on top. Repeat the process until all your sponges are stacked. You'll also want to scrape off any of the excess blue buttercream that's squeezing out the edges, just so we get a nice clean finish. The next step is to crumb coat the outside of our cake with white buttercream to seal in any of the crumbs and our blue icing. Once you've got a nice thin layer across the cake, pop it in the fridge for half an hour to set and then add on a second, slightly thicker coat. We're also going to finish this with a nice watercolour effect by placing spots of your different pastel buttercreams around the outside. Then all you need to do is scrape around the edges and you'll see it blends together. If you've missed any spots, feel free to go over it at this point. The Parisian streets with all of those suits look really cool, so I want to bring this out in the cake, and to do this, we're going to use fondant to make the silhouette of those pastel Parisian houses. Dye some fondant icing into your pastel colours and then roll it out to 1/2 centimetre thick. Cut these into strips and then use a variety of cutters to take out abstract windows and doors. You want to repeat this in each of your colours so you have about 3 or 4 of each. The video starts along a very colourful cobbled street with our Reputation snake, which is now very pretty in pink. We'll probably have to wait until the next single or the album to find out what it means, but I thought we'd replicate this very iconic scene on top of our cake. To make the dirt under our pebbles, I've blitzed together some Oreos in a food processor. Carefully spoon this on top of your cake and press it down, being careful not to knock it onto the side of the cake. The easiest way I found to make the cobbles was to use my diamond fondant cutter, cut them out into different fondant pieces, and then round them off in my hands to make each one unique. Place these on top of your Oreo soil all across the cake. If you've got any spare, you can also put them onto your cake board just to give it a nice finish. I'm going to make my snake by rolling out some pink fondant. You want to make sure you keep the head a bit fatter than the rest of the cake and then taper it all the way down to your tail. I've then taken a cocktail stick to make the crisscross pattern along its skin. Use some of your blue buttercream to pipe on the eyes, and then take some pink food colouring and blotch it along to give you a snakeskin effect. And the final decoration is me! We're going to finish the cake with M-E and the exclamation point in fondant because spelling is fun. We're going to do this in the style of the cover art from the single too, so we're going to use buttercream to pipe a little rose on top. Roll out your blue icing to 1/2 centimetre thick and then use your stencil or cookie cutters to cut out your letters. We're then going to take some buttercream to pipe the stalk, some green leaves, and our rose petals. Give it some time to dry and then centre it on top of your cake. If you've got any leftover green buttercream, you can also pipe this along the bottom of the cake just to fill in any gaps between the houses. The last thing to do is add our snake on top, and we are done! Our Taylor Swift me-inspired cake is good to go, and I promise you never had a cake like this. So there you have it, our Taylor Swift cake inspired by her brand new music video, Me, is done, and I hope you liked it as much as I did. If you did, let me know down in the comments what you thought, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more from Bradley Bakes, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.